Okay, in this movie, we're going to talk about how to work with infinities, how to divide infinities, which some students find confusing, but actually it's going to be quite easy. The basic question we're going to ask you is a very simple question. How many times, or what is the answer in here? Well, you all know that the answer is 2, but you know that because the basic question in division is how many times does the number in the bottom fit into the number in the top? In this case, it fits in exactly 2 times. If you remember that concept, working with infinities is very, very, very easy. So let's see examples. How much is infinity over 4? The question at hand is how many times does 4 fit into infinity? How many times does a really small number fit into infinity? If you want a sketch of this, it's the same as asking how many times does this tiny dot fit into the world or the universe? And the answer is it fits in a lot of times. And how do you say a lot of times or a huge, huge, huge number of times in math? Infinity. Okay, so whenever we have infinity over a number, we get infinity. And it doesn't matter if it's 4 or 4 million, because when we talk about infinity, it's so big that the sketch remains the same. 4 million is the same as asking how many times is a really small number, because 4 million is a very small number compared to infinity. And the answer is 4 million fits into infinity an infinite number of times. So infinity over any number is infinity. Now, some people get confused with the signs, but that doesn't matter at all. Positive infinity over negative 3. How many times does 3 fit into infinity? Infinity times. What's positive or negative? Negative. And the same with this, negative infinity over negative 29.3. It's not important. How many times does 29.3 fit into infinity? An infinite number of times. Minus over minus, plus. That's it. So that was infinity over numbers. Now let's do numbers over infinity. The basic question doesn't change. How many times does infinity, a huge number, fit into 4? Or in a sketch, how many times does this number fit into this point? It doesn't. It fits in like 0.000000001 times, only many, many more O's. It almost doesn't fit. It just barely gets in there. So in math, something is very, very small. We call this 0 plus. It's a small number, very close to 0, but positive. Okay, and again, even if I had here 4 million over infinity, it's the same answer because infinity is so much more big that you get the same answer. And again, if you have troubles with the signs, well, basically just don't. For example, if I have negative 49.3 over positive infinity, again, infinity fits into 49.3 times. It almost doesn't fit in, so it's 0. But negative over positive is negative, so I have this. It fits in almost doesn't fit in at all with a negative sign. And if I have negative 39 over negative infinity, what happens? Same thing. The answer is almost 0, and negative over negative is positive. So the answer is 0 plus. The only real problem we have is when we come to talk about something like this, infinity over infinity. This is a problem we can solve. We have other techniques for this, but you have a different movie just for this problem.